Joe is always trying to get back into his own body in time for his performance at the jazz club. All of the scenes at the beginning and end of the film advance the plot in some way, and in the middle, Joe learns a new lesson in each scene. The apparent lesson that Joe learns at the end is that there's more to life than playing music at the jazz club, which is what he has always dreamed of. However, Joe is trying to teach that lesson to 22 for most of the film. Once upon a time, there was a band teacher named Joe. Every day he dreamed of playing with Dorothea Williams' quartet. One day he falls down a manhole and gets transported to the great before and meets 22. Because of that, he tries to go back but gets placed in a cat's body with 22 in his body. Because of that, he learns that there are things in life other than playing music. Until finally, we have no idea what Joe does after Jerry lets him go back to Earth. Every major character plays a unique role. Joe and 22 are the protagonists. The Dorothea Williams Quartet is what Joe has always dreamed about, and Jerry, Terry, and Moonwind are Joe's tickets back to his own body. Joe is comfortable with playing and teaching music, and he is transported into the great before with no certainty of being able to get out. As I explained in point 4, the ending is incredibly ambiguous about what Joe is going to do. The filmmakers didn't decide on the ending until the very last test screening. Before that, the potential endings included Joe going to the great beyond and Joe staying in the great before as a mentor. Several events happen that violate this rule. A. Joe is able to fool Jerry, who is essentially God, just by picking a random name tag from the table. B. Joe is able to inhabit the cat's body, who already had its own soul, as opposed to getting stuck in the zone while 22 is on Earth. And C. When 22 inhabits Joe's body, she is able to get out of bed right away without any serious injuries. This film is based on the concept of a middle-aged person feeling like their life is over prematurely, which is very rare in animated films as their target audience is usually made up primarily of children who think of their parents as wise and all-knowing. Joe was originally a scientist instead of a musician, but the filmmakers found that would be too impersonal for most of the audience. After the success of Inside Out, doing something with a similar theme and setting was an obvious choice. Joe has a very strong opinion that he wants to play music, which sticks with him throughout the entire film. Pete Docter came up with the idea for this film after winning his Academy Award for Inside Out and worrying if that was it for his filmmaking career. Throughout the film, Joe tries as hard as possible to get back into his own body, which is understandable since he wants to play music. It takes a very long time for Jerry and Terry to find out what is going on with Joe and 22, which makes no sense since they are essentially the gods of this universe. As I explained in point 7 and 8, there was originally a less ambiguous ending, but that was cut out. At the end, all that Joe has to do is give the Earth pass to 22, and then Jerry bails him out and lets him go back to Earth. It sure is convenient that 22 has a magic portal between the Great Before and the Zone that shouldn't exist. This story has the element of someone discovering their true purpose in life, except they're middle-aged as opposed to a teenager or young adult, which is very unique and original but still relatable. The circumstances that Joe is in are literally never going to happen to any human being. Aspiring musician Joe Gardner gets stuck in the Great Before, then ends up in a cat's body while 22 is in his body, learns that there is more to life than playing music, goes back to help 22, and then Jerry is inspired and lets him return to Earth.